All right, good morning, good afternoon-ish. Welcome to today's Train Sim World 2 live stream. We are doing, let me change this here on YouTube. We're doing a trip on the Peninsula corridor. My home route, for those of you who may not know, I'm from the Bay Area originally, so this is my home route. For many of you, it's Brighton, it's other ones, but anyway, we're going to do a trip from San Francisco to San Jose, limited stop, taking the F40 PH. So it's the 262 service, 1622 departing. So we are going to get started here. I know some people are probably going to be coming over from Joe's stream. Whichever, it's fine. It is what it is. We're going to get started here and we'll get loaded up and all that good stuff. So Aircast is working, so I'm guessing it was just a problem yesterday with Aircast when I was doing the video on Cane Creek. Having some issues with that. But we're going to get the cab set up here. We'll get the doors open here in a moment. Matter of fact, we'll get push the button just so that we can get the doors open there. Get the headlights on. Brakes releasing. Number lights, and then we'll get the Alright, so we should have lights in passenger area. Yep. Lights are on. So let's see here. Doors shut. Now this is very realistic. What?
The doors are about to close.
Yeah, that sounds just like it does in the in real life. So yeah, spot on there. So we are almost at the very tail end here of the platforms here. Pat Bell parked there in the distance. Was there not too long ago, right here at this station. So, just to kind of go over some things about the Peninsula corridor. Not that I like to give anybody credit, but credit where credit's due. The drivers do, in fact, they're on the horn throughout the route. When I rode it from Millbrae to San Jose, and even San Jose back up to San Francisco, yeah, all those crossings and stuff, yeah, they're on the horn. So there is I'm not going to say who said it, but yeah, they're not. That does in fact happen. I'm not going to do it in the game because it was like, and if I had gotten done a video with it, you know, hey, Pithers, how are you? There's one person. At least one person's in. So yeah, they do blast the horn as they're passing the crossings, but that's in the game that would just be way too much. Now, I guess if you're not streaming or whatever, you're not one of those kinds of folks that talks and while they're streaming, then by all means blast the horn. But that's way too much, in my opinion. Like, I don't mind a little, like that, but anything more is just. And they do use the bell as they go into the station and as they depart. So yeah. So that does in fact take place. Yeah, when I was there on the Peninsula corridor, it seemed I saw more of the F40s. They were even pulling the newer, well, not the new, like the ones that come with the MP36. Those gallery cab cars, I saw, I think at least once, an F40 pulling the newer gallery cab cars. A lot of the line now has the infrastructure in place for the electrification, like the poles that go over that are going to hold the wires. A lot of that is already in place. In some places, new substations, I think, for electricity have been built. So yeah, it's something else. So we're just stopping at San Bruno first. San Bruno, then Burlingame. Now, I think I said the other day in the video for when we was on King Creek that Burlingame is the one that newer looking station. It's not Burlingame, it's Hillsdale. We'll talk about that if we stop at Hillsdale. Oh, I got popped for speeding, and I didn't think I was. Oh, that's right. We get pushed into the cab here because they consider this a tunnel-like situation. Matter of fact, speaking of tunnels, let's get the light on just so that we can kind of see. I know Mick wanted to know when I went live. He should have gotten a notification, so he should be here, I would have thought. I feel kind of bad if hold on, let me see if I can. All right, I just want. I'm doing good, Pithers. Yeah, I'm doing good. I just got up and had my coffee. Still working through my coffee. So I just wanted to let Mick know that I was live because I know he was looking forward to this stream. So. And none of the times that I rode, I don't think, no, none of the times that when I was riding on the Peninsula corridor when I was back home, did we stop at this station right here. And it looks I mean, I know it looks right now in the game, it looks halfway decent, but it looked a bit ratty in real life. Like, I don't know. I mean, it just didn't look. It still doesn't look like a very safe station. Yeah, still on the first coffee. I generally, as a rule of thumb, I only usually have one cup. So yeah, but yesterday I did make a second one, but yeah, I usually only have one. But yeah, as I was just saying a moment ago, they do have a lot of the infrastructure in place for electrification, but there is some problems with the route. Overall, from what I read, it's all a lot of the problems are underneath the existing rail bed, and I kind of feel like a lot of that had to do with the earthquakes that have happened over the years, whether they've been huge ones like the one in '89 or just small tremors, overall. I think that's part of it, but there's a lot of rail traffic that goes back and forth over this, and you're talking about we're 404 tons, on a throughout the day from early in the morning till late in the evening. Yorkshire. I do have a tea every once in a while. I do have like the English breakfast tea. And then I also have, when I was in Savannah, my friend bought me a small thing of an actual honeycomb. So that would be, I've been meaning to make a cup of tea in the morning. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow when I get up. I'll make a cup of tea and then use some of that honey within the tea. Hi, Ambella, how are you? So, yeah, I'm gonna. But I don't mind tea. It's just that I've always been a coffee drinker for the most part. The only thing is now I can't have it black. I have to put creamer in. Otherwise, my stomach is just, the acidity in the coffee is just terrible, and I suffer for it. So I've reluctantly. I'm good, thanks, Amilla. I'm good. Yeah, I can't. I used to drink coffee just with nothing, and then I've had it with sugar for many years, but I have to cut out the sugar for health reasons. So now, yeah, I have to do. So I try to switch it up every once in a while between tea and coffee. But yeah, I'm glad this is working. It wasn't working yesterday. I was able to get a stream in on Twitch. The epic trip on Cane Creek. I might load it up anyway. I said I wasn't going to, but I think I'll put it on YouTube here in a little bit later this morning. But yeah, so I'm glad that this is all sorted out. Maybe Aircast was just down yesterday for maintenance or something. I don't know, but it's working. So I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, this is a limited stop service. Now, last night, while I was watching Mick play FIFA, in the midst of the calamity of the Euro game, I did take a run here. I did a baby bullet service though, but I did use the F40. Essentially, just to kind of get the feel for the breaks again. Now Mick was kidding around. Oh, you don't need any practice. It's one of those systems that if you haven't run it in a while, it's good to at least do a service off stream if you're going to be streaming it, just to kind of get the feel for the breaks again, because they can be a bit much to get used to again, and judging your distances and when to get on the brakes and everything. So yeah, that's I did that while he was on FIFA. Well, he had an epic it went for quite a while. Guess what, Rob? You wouldn't believe what happened last night. Yeah, I heard Pithers. I mean, I didn't watch the game, but Mick and his nephew were talking about it, and I understand that there was some very questionable calls, which seems to be the norm in many sports. It happens in American football. It happens in any sport. I think the referees are going to overlook things that fans are going to be like, that was, unacceptable, or, whatever. And it's, it's unfortunate that it happens. I think it's just, part of human nature sometimes that the referees don't always see. Even though things happen right in front of them, it happens in such a quick thing that, quick fashion that, okay, so now do you stop the game, spend more time reviewing it, and, then everybody gets antsy because even if they review it, nobody's going to like the outcome of the call. That's the other issue. A lot of people, especially in American football, oh Lord, if the referees get the call wrong, the next day everybody is just, and I've done it before too, even umpires in baseball games, if they blow a call and there's no way to correct it, right? They can't go back and change anything, the results or anything like that. So when that happens, people, I think, just tend to start to lose trust in the umpiring system or the referee system. And then there's all the accusations, oh, maybe they're in the pocket of the other team, and Okay. Why it says I'm not getting enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Well, I'm sorry if it's buffering, folks. Honestly, it's one of those. But anyway, yeah, they people are always going to second guess the referees. They're going to second guess the coaching decisions. Everybody feels that they know better. I noticed that too. Why did he do? That, I think that's just part of being a fan too. You're going to always second guess what the coach decided to do in the game and who he decided to play over this person, and all that kind of stuff. We're going to go. It's going to be a fairly decent stop. It's not bad. So yeah, it's just it's unfortunate. Let Mick know that I was going live, but I thought he was going to be here. Maybe he's watching. He's just listening to my soothing voice. So yeah, we're all completely on the platform here, so we didn't really blow past anything or whatever. So San Bruno is our first stop. Burlingame, then I think we'll go on into Millbrae. So yeah, Mick might be having his lunch, just listening. brakes released, so we should be able to depart here in a moment. Since we're on flat ground, we won't be rolling anywhere. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I know it's not the result that England fans wanted, and I know people feel cheated, and certainly you have every right to feel that way. I just think that that's the dynamic. I always say there's actually 3 teams on the field, and no matter what game you're playing, you've got the 2 up. You have your like England and Italy, and then the 3rd team is the refs. They've got their own. It almost feels like in a lot of ways the referees have their own game to play, and that's I think is just part of the way sports goes now. The referees do their thing, and that's when you have all the accusations of bribery and favoritism and all that kind of stuff too. Burlingame, San Mateo after Burlingame. Then I think we'll get into Millbrae. Let's see. Let's take a look at Hills. No, we're skipping Millbrae. Wow. So, all right, so we'll talk about Hillsdale when we get to what you on about. I said no. I get that, Pithers. I understand that. I'm just saying that it's an unfortunate outcome. Yeah, we're skipping Millbrae. That's kind of unusual, even for a limited stop service. That's usually like a main thing. But no, I mean I didn't expect them to make it to the finals. I thought for sure they would have gotten beat by Germany. And when they beat Germany, I thought, wow, and as they kept climbing, well, and honestly, good for them for going as far as they did. However, I do feel you guys got cheated by the poor officiating. A lot of they said somebody yanked somebody by the back of their jersey and pulled the guy to the ground, and he got, which under any other circumstances most people felt would have warranted an ejection from the game completely. Like there would have been no question whatsoever. But yet the person was allowed to stay in. But it's I know it was a game that they got farther than many people probably expected. But it's it's in the books. They can't go back and say, oh yeah, we should have given this person a red card, and now the results have changed. That it unfortunately doesn't work that way. So here we are passing through Millbrae. So I noticed, and I had a whole video, and I wish it had. So this does in fact exist in real life. There's this station here, which I'm not sure why this exists. That platform there. If they're going to do something with it, if it's an expansion or I don't know what the deal is with that. Unless there's just, I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me, but it seems more built up than what it shows in the game. But anyway, yeah, I feel bad for them, but what can you do? It's just anyway, and I can sympathize when it's your team and you put a lot of energy into supporting them, and you're trying to send all the positive thoughts and whatnot to carry them through. Excuse me. The what do you call it? To see the result not happen, it's heartbreaking. When the Giants went to the World Series against the Anaheim Angels. And they lost, and it was the chance for Barry Bonds to win a ring, and they didn't do it. And part of that, I think, was due to fan interference from the Angels fans. You know, it was heartbreaking. Ooh, wow, I am going to be... Oh, I was not paying attention. That got... Man, I am going to probably screw up this stop. I was not paying attention. Yep. Come on. Yep, I totally screwed this up. I was not paying attention. That got... Oh... God almighty. See, this is what happens. I get talking about silly crap that I shouldn't even be worried about, and then this happens. That is unacceptable. Like, this is pathetic. I'm not even going to lie. That is nonsense in my book. I should never, ever, ever, ever allow something like that to happen. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm not talking about football anymore. I'm not even paying attention. I started talking about stupid shit that has nothing to do with anything. Good God Almighty. Oh, Mick, now you're here. Well, you just missed this epic screw up of a stop that I just made because I was talking about the game last night. So to kind of recap, you haven't missed much. We were just kind of going over what happened last night in the Euro game, and that I was watching your stream, and I know you and your nephew had it on the background, and yeah, Mela, I know. I have no excuse whatsoever for this nonsense. This is pathetic. I'm not even going to mince words. It's pathetic. That is a pathetic thing in my book. Like, I may go past the actual stop marker a little bit, but not like this bad. This is yeah, exactly, Mick. Anyways, so we skipped through. We didn't stop off at Millbrae, which was a surprise, because normally Millbrae is a major stop, especially because you have the BART train taking people to the airport. So even going south towards San Jose, I don't think there was any time. Well, no, I think even when I rode the train from San Jose back to San Francisco, I think we even stopped at Millbrae. Yeah, crazy. All right, just a quick mile up the road to San Mateo, and then we stop at Hillsdale. Now, the Hillsdale station. Yeah, I know, Josh. I know. It is what it is. So we're gonna do better here in San Mateo. That's my one screw up for the stream. We're not gonna accept. If we get one more, we're just gonna restart the whole thing. So the Hillsdale station is completely new. They basically the station was closed for like 6 months. Now, I don't know how that impacted Caltrain service, because they basically built up the station, like it's raised up. So I don't know how that impacted normal Caltrain service. So, but yeah, they did close it for 6 months. Well, basically, I think it had a lot to do with the problems they were discovering underneath the railroad bed, and so they just decided to to build it up. So all the ballast is all brand new looking. The what do you call it? All the ballast, all this is like fresh, like brand new. I think they used the rails that were already there. They just instead of, I think that's what it looks old to me, like they just used what was already there. But I think they did it because as they were preparing the route for the electrification, and they were starting to discover a lot of issues that exist underneath the railroad bed. So when we get to Hillsdale here in a moment, in the game, where the platforms are now, everything is in the center, so you have like a center line station, and you open, for when we go in real life now, the doors on the left will open, which I think is not the way it is in the game right now. I think you open the doors on the right. So yeah, they completely. I was shocked when we went through. I was like, wait a minute, this is not the way I recall this station being. And wow, this is it, and it's all concrete. It's very. It's bland, like really, really bland looking now. The only color I think is the lines for the safety. Don't cross the yellow line on the on the platform because of safety, and but because they've discovered all these issues, it's going to take even longer for them to get it done, which is also, from what I read, driving up the cost. Because I thought by the time I got, I thought they were, well, in theory, before the COVID thing happened, the electrification would have been done by summer this year. Obviously, that's not happened because of COVID. They've had to that was part of it. Part of it is the problems underneath the railroad bed. Part of it also is the electrification infrastructure, because PG&E's got its own issues. So everything's just kind of kicked down the road to another time, until like maybe next year or so. I better get on the brakes now. So we have a nice stop here in Hillsdale, since I've been talking about it so much. So yeah, I think right around here or so is where you go up. So kind of like the San Bruno station. And that's where I was like, wow, I thought San Bruno was way back there. But yeah, so all this is raised up now, coming into the station. Let's see, when we stop here, I'm almost positive the old way this platform is on the right here. Or is it a center station? Let's see when we get in here. No, it was on the right. Okay, so now everything is basically in the middle, right here, and this is up higher, and it's all concrete. It's bland. They, not that this station. I mean, yeah, you had the old station house. It looks like here. But it's not it's not an attractive station at all. Like, you're high up, you don't really even see the palm trees anymore. Well, this is going to be a much better stop. Look at this. This is. There we go. Finally, we nailed the stop. Look at that. So yeah, there's just a lot of issues going on for the route. It's unfortunate. Um, so yeah. Yeah, because they have the old station house there, and you don't stop until you're farther down. You know, usually it's like not long after you get into uh, the into the station. So yeah, it confuses me sometimes too, Amela, because I'm just like I usually expect a quicker stop, but it's I think because of the way that the station is, and in relation to the street there. Yeah, I in retrospect, if I had thought about it, or planned things a little bit better, I would have spent another day in the Bay Area, if only to kind of get off like at Mountain View, Palo Alto, to walk around and show you guys the station. But again, that a lot of that was, I thought I was going to be able to be on Twitch on my phone, and that didn't work out quite according to plan. Like when I was I think my friend had called me. I was on the train. I was streaming, or at least I thought I was, and he called me, and I stopped the stream, and then when I went back and it wasn't there, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And it didn't record at all. All that stuff that I'd showed and talked to people about while I was on the train, nothing happened. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. It was ridiculous. So I don't know what the deal was. I never quite figured out why it didn't work. So, but anyway, here we are. But it's not the same. I really wanted to show you guys in real life, a sense of the route. And you would have heard the horns blaring, like I talked about in the beginning. Yes, that certain individual is correct. They are on the horn at every crossing. Anything that they've got, that they feel that they have to, safety wise, they're on the horn. And so, yeah, that individual, I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to, you guys know why. But anyway, yeah, so that all does in fact happen. But, as I was saying at the beginning too, I wouldn't do it, if only because it's just too much. Like if you're streaming and you're not talking, yeah, you could probably get away with it, but I'm not going to do it. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, Amela. We're not going to say his name in the chat. All right, San Carlos. So I do expect that by the time that the route is completely electrified, that many of the stations, there may be more reconstruction and changing of the stations as they move the project forward. I fully expect that. That's not too bad of a stop. At least we got one good solid stop in, so I don't feel so bad now. I like the horns that yeah, they are. The only thing is, now where I stayed at Millbrae, I was just north of the Millbrae station. Okay, so now you would hear the horns until probably, I don't know what time they stopped running. Because I don't think they run too late at night anymore. But yeah, they would blast the horn well before the station, and then you would, as they got close to the station, you could hear the bell dinging as they go into the station. So they do that. It's, you know, they are big about safety and making sure that people are aware that the trains are moving. Oh, this is going right on through. Look at that. Let's get the brakes releasing. You know what I forgot to do. Alright, Palo Alto's next. Alright, we can do that while we're moving here. Marker lights on. That's how I do it when I'm going to San Jose. Just come back here, open the window, find the marker thing. Bam, your marker lights are on. There you go, Josh. Now see, I've got the window open, and even now the horn sounds muffled. I don't know. Sometimes the sounds in this game just perplex me. But anyway, so yeah, I think there's probably going to be more redesign as time goes on. Part of that is to make way for the electric lines themselves. You know, make things a little bit easier to electrify the system. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I am going to miss, I won't lie. It was nice to ride in the Nippon Gallery cab cars while I was home. I always sat in the upper deck, you know, upstairs here. So I think when I was going to San Jose, I was sitting at, matter of fact, I was in the car. I think I was in the first car here, right behind the locomotive. So I was sitting, I think, right over there, facing towards San Jose. That seat, like right there. This one right there, where the cursor is. So it was nice to be able to ride those one last time before, you know. I really did want to. I do that too. Fly the cam to the back, reach my arm in the cab, and flick the switch. Yeah. Well, it's just so much easier than trying to run all the way back there. I mean, if you can do it that way, why not? So yeah, I did enjoy that. I wish I could have been able to ride an MP36 and all that, but it was fun. I think when I went to San Francisco, I sat in the car where we just went through Redwood City. I think I sat here. Yeah. Because I remember seeing the door. You could see the door to the train driver cab. Now, the other thing that I noticed too is that on average, these doors here in the middle are always open. Like they never kept them closed. How good do the Caltrain? They drive pretty well. It's just like the ride was bumpy though. Not anything to do to them. It's just that, you know, you had a little bit of the shakes on the train. You know, but overall they do a phenomenal job. You know, yeah. I didn't notice any problems. They didn't like jerk, you know, like you didn't feel like, you know, like when we come into the station of the game, usually we're on the brakes kind of late because we're trying to be on time, and you know, you come to that sudden stop sort of. No, there was none of that. It was they were good about having a nice comfortable stop. You know, they can't go to notch 8 right away. You know, they kind of cruise slowly. It's like they release the brakes and then the train, they just got like a little bit of power and you just kind of start slowly drifting out of the station, and then the speed starts to build up. You know, so that's how they are normally. You know, we go to notch 8 right away in the game, again, also for time constraints, because if we don't, we're never going to be on time for our next stop. You know, and then it just builds up. Now, I don't know, I didn't really notice, as far as time-wise, if we were constantly running behind, or if we were within, you know, a tolerance. So basically, yeah, they did. Yeah, like I kind of get the feeling that the engineers on the line have been doing the job for quite a long time. So, especially driving the F40s, they're masters at their craft, basically. So yeah, the rides are, you know, stopping and starting is a very nice experience, you know, versus the way we play the game. You know, we kind of jerk our passengers around. But anyway, yeah, it was good. They do a good job. The conductors are all very pleasant, you know, given that they have to deal with probably a lot of unpleasant people on the train on a regular basis. You know, I didn't have any issues, especially when I had like 2 tickets to ride. I had my day pass, which got me from Millbrae to San Jose, and I was hoping to go all the way to Gilroy, but when I got to San Jose, the guy's like, no, we don't head to Gilroy until later in the afternoon. I was like, well, there goes that plan too. So yeah, it was a lot of things that I had thought were going to happen did not quite happen. That's not too bad of a stop. I can accept that. So I'll kind of give you a sense of, as far as I can figure, how they do when they leave a station. As soon as we get everybody on board here, and I can close the doors. And this is very accurate, this sound right here.
Caution, the doors are about to close.
Yeah, that is exactly how it sounds. But yeah, I really wish I had more time. For me, it was whether or not I go back to the hometown and kind of go around there, or do I stay on the Peninsula corridor and kind of do a little bit of sightseeing with you guys. All right, so the brakes come off and they go notch 1, and you just kind of start coasting out the station slowly like that. But they, it's the feeling of the power is very, you don't really feel it until you get well past the station. Like if we went to notch 8 right away, I think I would have been able to tell. California Avenue's next, and then Mountain View. So yeah, it's they do a really good. I think they really want the passengers to feel comfortable. Now, if you're a commuter, you're probably used to the way the line rides. But these cars are, they've been around for quite some time. Like they don't have them in here. Let's see if I can. On inside the cab, by these doors, you have a logo. I think it's probably like right around here somewhere in this empty space, but it has like the pond logo and the year that they were, like the one I think I wrote in, it was yeah, I think it's just a timing thing, Josh. I gotta get on the brakes here, because otherwise we're gonna have another major issue coming into California Avenue here. What was I gonna say? So yeah, that's something. So like the last one I wrote on, and I posted the picture on the Discord, was from 1985. I think that was the year that it was manufactured. So these are quite old. So even though I'm sure they do fairly well with the maintenance, the maintenance folks probably have tried to keep these up and running as long as possible. But yeah, I don't think the ride is as good as it was probably when they were first manufactured. Alright, this isn't too bad of a stop. I'm okay with that, as long as we keep nailing stops like that. That one way back there, we're not even gonna remember that. Yeah, we're slowly making our way to San Jose. But yeah, I kind of debate now in my mind, and I know I shouldn't, but whether or not it was even worth going all the way to Castor Valley. For me it was, but at the same time it wasn't, because by the time I got back to this side of the bay, I had no energy at all to even attempt to go ride and stop off. I was smoked, and I think that I think the jet lag was starting to catch up to me a bit, because I think if I hadn't it contributed to me not paying attention to my flight to Savannah the next day, which caused me to miss my flight and then have to go through Houston, which caused a delay, and it was a huge mess. Yeah, I think, because I know I was tired. Like when I got back to the room finally, I put my stuff together and went to bed early. But I thought, I'll get a good night's sleep. I'll be at the airport plenty of time. No worry. Yeah. Oh, I was so mad at myself. Oh. Yeah, that was terrible. E36 service heading up to the city. But it was nice to be home. I wish I could have showed you guys a lot more, and I didn't stay at the historic F line for very long. They only recently returned to service. I think maybe about a month or so before I went out that way. So they only had, I think when I looked at the screen that shows what's out on the line, I think they only had maybe 4 of the interurban cars in service. So yeah, they were just, it wasn't like when I was last there where they had a lot of different cars. Like they were, they'd run one for a little while and then they'd swap it out, and you'd see all kinds of different ones. So, and I think, God, the one guy, Oh, he would not leave me alone, and he's a volunteer. And they must not get a lot of people in there, but they. We were talking about the cable cars. They said those should be up and running in the fall if everything goes according to plan. That's a huge tourist draw for the area. Yeah, but the historic F line. Even if you go for the cable cars, go the historic F line. I highly recommend it. The little museum is pretty cool. They've got coffee mugs. They've got T-shirts. They've got. I bought a couple T-shirts. They've got the one lady who works there. She's not a volunteer. She's paid to be there, but she created little trolley toys. Handcrafted. She sells those there. Like the guy was, I got it. I know. I've been here before. I kind of know. Like he's like, oh, we got the trolley thing. I'm like, oh, I went back. Oh, you can touch the switches and everything. I'm just like, it's quite all right. I'm not, I almost want to say I'm not a kid. It's okay. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but it's not like I'm 8 or 9 years old, and I have to, in order to be happy, I have to operate all these switches and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, do go by there. Don't be dissuaded or put off by a volunteer who's just excited to have somebody come into the museum. I'm sure they would be thrilled to have folks come over from the UK or anywhere for that matter. They are very welcoming folks, and yeah. All right, here we are, Mountain View, just as I remembered it. Nothing really different here. Although the way that the street is designed there is nowhere near how it is in real life. From the moment, just right, as soon as you pass over, it is restaurants. Like there was, most every restaurant had their table set up outside, and is shopping their stuff, and you press buttons. Well, I was going to, but I was just, if I don't know, I was just like, it kind of put me off because he was like, go back there and check it out, and I was like, yeah, I mean, Normally I would, but I was just kind of like, I had gotten back from the Castor Valley. I was a bit tired already. I just wanted to go in there because I wanted to get a couple T-shirts. I saw some designs. I've got one that's really cool, I think. Oh, did I get... No, I made it on time. Okay. We're just going to... Alright, let's get the doors closed. Get the brakes off. We're going to have to get on the power right away so we don't roll back too much. There we go. That went pretty well. Sunnyvale's next. Oh, yeah. Well, I looked around and all that, but I was like, I'm sure they disinfect everything. It just wasn't. This wasn't my thing. But it was. I did appreciate his enthusiasm. Like I said, I think they just don't have many people coming in, so they he may just kind of overdo it a bit, So, yeah, it's nice though. Even they do sell memberships, and if I can one day, I would like to buy a membership there because it does help them out. Even though I don't live there anymore, and memberships for something like that, they usually have member events and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, but yeah, I do like what they're doing. I do like that they're preserving these interurban car histories, and hopefully people have that appreciation for for it. Not everybody does, and that's fine. It is what it is. But yeah, you're missing out on some pretty cool history. Um, but yeah, they if you were like, oh, I want to go back, hey, they'd be like, go for it. I don't think they would discourage you at all, Pithers. They would be happy to let you stand there and work all the switches and whatnot in their little display thing. So yeah, they would not. The only thing is if there's some kid there, they'd be like, okay, sir, you gotta you gotta let the kid in there. But yeah, it was nice being home. I wish I had one more full day there. It would have been a lot better, I think. Yeah. The only thing is, I was telling somebody this. But matter of fact, my old high school friend, I said, yeah, San Francisco it stinks. It's bad. It really is. And it breaks my heart that it's things are that bad now in San Francisco. Matter of fact, I was telling my whole health peer coach last Thursday when I had my appointment with him. He was asking me how everything went, and I said, it was just. It's hard that the Bay Area where I grew up is just it's a mess, and it pains me that that's happening, but that's decisions that were made that impacted a lot of people that maybe that I don't know. It's unfortunate. So far, we have been on time at all of our stations. That's a good thing. We've not been late at all. Yeah, it's hard to see your home area just be a mess, and to see I've got to go in and maybe I'm going to do that after I get done here. I do still got to do a load of laundry too. I was going to do that yesterday, but every time I went downstairs to try to throw a load in, somebody was already using the washers, so I'm gonna see. It's almost 8, so yeah, I'm gonna go down soon and get a load of laundry going. But like even walking around my hometown and seeing the amount of like the place where I used to get my hair cut when I lived in the Bay Area, there in the hometown, it's just sitting there empty. Nobody's using that space, and or I went to another place right across the street, basically, and she was only doing haircuts by appointments, and luckily I found somebody to give me a haircut that he could squeeze me in as a walk-in, so that was good. But it was nice. He'd lived around the area for quite some time, and we were kind of just talking about the changes and everything, and yeah. But yeah, it's I do need to, I want to create, maybe I'll do that sometime today too. Yeah, I mean, I understand that, you know, change is inevitable, but there's so much stuff that has been, I don't want to say erased. It's just that the amount, that the cost of living in the Bay Area is just, it's so ridiculously high that people have lost their roof over their head. Not to any fault of their own. It's just that they cannot afford to live there. So you have a huge increase in homelessness. People are now finding places to stay that are not safe. They're not practical because they don't know, they don't have any place else to go. You know, and it's just it's sad. And there's no, even if they could get into a shelter, they can only be there for so long. There's no, even there's no such thing as affordable housing anymore. You know, so it's just it's sad. I hate to see my town, my city, the Bay Area, just fall apart like that. It's unfortunate, but it's also harder to feel connected to home because there, you know, there's just so many issues that are just, I think because of COVID, a lot of things have just gone unaddressed because that was the focus. You know, and it's unfortunate, and I don't think that that is an issue just for the Bay Area. I think that's just, it's everywhere. You know, a lot of people just feel that their needs are not being addressed. Their concerns are going unanswered or, you know, unnoticed. No matter how high from a rooftop they shout their concerns. But I don't know. It's just, I don't like to think about it. I prefer to remember the Bay Area where, you know, the way it used to be. Alright, Santa Clara is next, and then we go into San Jose. I think we did stop at the station along the way. So all the I don't think I ever was on an all-stop service when I was on when I was riding the I think all the stuff I wrote, all the services I wrote on were all limited stop. So I kind of feel like the timetables have been updated I kind of feel, and I could be wrong, but it almost feels like the timetable is different compared to what we have in the game. No, we didn't stop here. I don't think we did. I don't remember now. We may have gone past Santa Clara. No. I'm trying to remember if this... I wonder if we... It almost feels like if we did, we stopped here versus over by the replica station here. All right, almost there. But anyway, I am thankful that the aircast thing was working today, and I do appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out and talking in the chat. Even Joshin is lurking. So, yeah. I was going to do a trip on Sand Patch, but I was like, no, let's do an F40 service, and yeah. We should still get a gold despite our earlier hiccups. I think we'll still be on target for a gold. I don't think I've lost that many points to bump me down to silver, but we'll see. Yeah. If I can, I don't know. I'm gonna have to really see if I can figure out a way to do this. But I like to go back one more time before the end of the year if I could. Flying was just so. I don't know if I could fly from Syracuse to San Francisco and back. If I could figure out a way to do it for a fairly reasonable price, I'd like to do it, but I'd say what? Yeah, you and your lurking. You were lurking earlier, Josh. You know what I'm talking about. I would like to be able to go back one more time before the end of the year, just to do another run on the Peninsula corridor and show you guys a little bit more of the area and all that. Maybe actually stop at the the major stations, that sort of thing. The maintenance yard here, the CMOF, I think it's called. Yeah, it seemed pretty busy. This does in fact exist. This train car wash. But again, I didn't see one Union Pacific locomotive on the route anywhere. Not even like parked over here by the maintenance facility. Yeah, it was. I did see, I think at least one or two of the MP15s. But yeah, I saw nothing Union Pacific related, so I was a bit surprised. Because, we see them just sitting around here on the route in the game, but I think that's to maybe remind people that we have those as an option. I wish we could get one of the things now that we got Cane Creek is the SD40s available here on the Peninsula corridor as a layer. Maybe they got a few more services with the SD40 or something. But I know if it's not real, they can't really put it in there. They can't just create it out of thin air. So yeah, it was nice to see the Sharks Arena, where the San Jose Sharks, the National Hockey League team, plays. We've been close so many times to getting the Stanley Cup. God, it would be great if the Bay Area, our basketball team's done well. both baseball teams have done fairly well over the years. It would be great if just once the Sharks could bring the Stanley Cup to San Jose. That would be phenomenal. Now, when I came in, I think we went over to the platform because I did have to walk underneath to get over to the main ticketing area to get a ticket. This was the line that had that Amtrak service to Sacramento. I think it was parked on this side where we're pulling into. I have taken that train actually from here up to Sacramento before. Oh, I thought we were gonna nail that stop. Oh well. But yeah, I have to. You go. It's kind of a weird way, but you leave San Jose, you go down, and it's like you go this loop around, and then you go up the east side of the bay, and then it connects into the normal Capital Corridor system. $16,950 is our final score. Let's see. Yeah, we got a gold still. Look at that. Nice. I think, let's see. Let's look at my driver because I think Peninsula Corridor might be my top line now. Let's see what that says. Yeah, we'll end here in a moment, Nabella. No, don't go put Boo in just yet. We're not done completely. Yeah, Peninsula Corridor is my best route, and Ice 3 is still my top train. Yeah, because I did do quite a bit with the on the let's see, that's the 403. It's that version. I think that's the one on Colne to Aachen, but anyway, yeah, I know you like to get into the Discord and put the boo up right away. I know what you're like, Amilla. I know. 682. Well, you know, not too bad on the golds. As Mick said, "Oh, I'm a pro." I don't think I'm a pro at this game. I just try to do the best I can. So, anyway, that's gonna be it. So Mel can go put her boo in Discord. Josh, thank you all for coming in. Greatly enjoyed it, and I will see you. Won't be tomorrow. Probably be Wednesday, most likely. We'll do. We won't do Peninsula Corridor again. We'll do something else. But yeah. Anyway, that's good.